I am a troll on the internet. Because I cursed too much, I was punished by God after death and became a mute heroine in a sadomasochistic B-novel. The kind who was slandered, slapped, had her kidney removed, had a miscarriage, had her blood drawn, was cyberbullied, depressed, and finally died of cancer. After knowing such a shitty plot, my mouth began to move again. As soon as I opened my eyes after I came here, I saw my fiancé, the male protagonist Furueiji, hugging the female supporting role Lu Cha-Cha and pointing fingers at me. Look at the plan you made. It's shit, and it makes Cha-Cha embarrassed. Lu Cha-Cha covered her face and cried, Brother Rueiji, don't curse Sister Jinjin. Sister Jinjin must not mean it. I looked around blankly and found myself in the office area of a company building. The employees around me were secretly watching my joke. The system bound to me reminded me of the plot. Lu Cha-Cha stole Lu Jinjin's plan as her own, but she couldn't understand it. She said something wrong at the regular meeting and was scolded by the chairman. In order to protect the little green tea, the male protagonist was firing at his fiancée. Finally, the system said, Host, as long as you follow the plot and get abused, you can be free when the novel is finished. I nodded to the system to indicate that there was no problem. This part of Little Green Tea steals chickens and loses rice, Wise Man stabs fiancé for love is a traditional program in sadomasochistic literature. I know it. Looking at the male protagonist and the female supporting role who were still complaining, I opened my mouth and sprayed, Sister, you are very good at cooking, you are good at adding oil and exaggerating, and you are also good at shirking the blame. With your level, you should go to a big restaurant to be the chef. Isn't it a bit of a waste to be a spare tire for a broken car? System. Others were also shocked. Only Lu Cha-Cha subconsciously asked, What are you talking about? Me. Can't hear clearly? Then I'll carve it on the tombstone for you, okay? You said that your brain capacity is not as much as earwax, and you dare to rush for the task. If you want it, just take it. You can't do it yourself. Are you playing performance art? Have you learned how to click on the PPT? Have you learned how to type on the keyboard? I give a computer pig and the pig can arch out 2 words, but you can't arch out, right? I suggest that you receive 9 years of compulsory education again. Lu Cha-Cha's tears fell, and this time she really cried. Furueiji was so angry that he jumped up and down and yelled, Shut up. Cha-Cha is your sister anyway, how can you be so vicious to her? Oh, I haven't yelled at you yet, right? I aimed my gunfire at Furueiji. You are really a toad wearing frog skin, wearing nothing but flowers. You even used my plan to pick up girls. You are so good at borrowing flowers to pay tribute to Buddha. Do you want me to borrow your mother, by the way? You are so hypocritical at ordinary times. You must be a useless mother, right? The whole audience was silent, looking at me as if I were an alien. The original heroine Lu Jinjin is a little weakling. When people say something, she will only bow her head and feel wronged. How can she be as strong as me? But there is no point. Anyway, I am leaving. I picked up my bag and turned to walk out. The original heroine was reluctant to leave this crappy man and crappy job, but I was willing to do so. I finally got the chance to live again. There are so many things I want to do. I don't have time to waste with them. Furueiji frantically yelled at me from behind, Lu Jinjin, come back and apologize. Otherwise, we'll cancel the engagement. I stopped and looked back at Furueiji, who showed a confident expression, kneeled down and apologized to Cha-Cha, and promised not to do it again. Kneel down and kowtow 3 more times, and this matter will be over. Furueiji used canceling the engagement to control the original heroine's entire story, but would I be afraid? I asked sincerely, don't you pee in your house without a mirror? Everyone! Exclamation point. Furueiji! Question mark. I shook my head regretfully. If I were a rag collector, I would definitely love you. What a pity. But you can be a couple with the rag collector next to you. She has good teeth and is not picky about food. You two are a perfect match made in heaven, so don't separate. If you leave her, you won't meet such a mean person. After I said that, I shook my hair and walked out of the company building refreshed. The system muttered to itself in doubt of life. No, the comments under this novel all say that the heroine is timid and has no mouth. How can she speak? I smiled evilly. I asked you to only read the comments and not the content, so you were careless. After leaving the company, I rushed to the hospital for a physical examination. The report showed that my kidneys were intact, my uterus was stable, and I just had some breast nodules. Overall, there was no big problem. I heard that the original heroine died of breast cancer. In order to avoid being angry and getting cancer, I decided to work hard to fight people in this life and create a good and comfortable mood for myself. The system advised me, Host, you have to listen to my arrangements and work hard to complete the tasks before you can leave this world, so that you can be free and easy in the next life. Me, are you teaching me how to do things? Why should I wait for the next life if I want to be free and easy? Can I be free and easy in this life? The system seemed to be convinced by me. After a long silence, it murmured, What you said makes some sense. At this time, the phone rang. It was my cheap father Lu Ming who called. The system immediately explained Lu Ming's personality to me. 20 years ago, Lu Ming ran away from home and abandoned his wife and daughter in order to hug the thigh of the rich woman Bai Lianhua. Lu Ming started a business with the support of Bai Lianhua, and he had a few good years. However, the Lu family was in a bad financial situation during this period, and the company was in trouble. Lu Ming thought about sending Lu Cha-Cha to the Fu family for marriage. It happened that Lu Cha-Cha liked Fu Ruizhi, and Fu Ruizhi could help the Lu family, which was a win-win situation. The plan was good, but Qing Yaojin jumped out halfway. The old lady of the Fu family was a shrewd person. She saw at a glance that Lu Cha-Cha was not a human being, and she didn't want this daughter-in-law. Lu Ming had no choice but to remember that he had a daughter. It happened that Lu Xinjin's biological mother passed away, and she was alone. Lu Ming played a family card and coaxed Lu Xinjin back to be the scapegoat in a few words. I understood the plot, and just as I picked up the phone, I heard the other party yelling, "Lu Xinjin, are you crazy? You actually scolded Fu Ruizhi. Don't you know that our Lu family is waiting for the marriage with the Fu family to revive? What will the Lu family do if you scold him away?" Lu Ming has already seen that the original heroine is a coward who can be manipulated by others, so now he is too lazy to pretend, and starts scolding when he disagrees. But I didn't indulge him, and directly said, "Oh, then bankruptcy." Lu Ming was confused. "You, what did you say?" "Me, what? You can't afford to give me the company if it doesn't go bankrupt? You didn't want to pay the 500 yuan child support, but you still expect me to work hard for you? Anyway, you are so stingy. If you go bankrupt, you can just go begging. It's a good match for your profession. When the time comes, Bai Lianhua will lie on the tricycle, you will pull the cart in front, and Lu Cha-Cha will hold the speaker in the back, and play The Wandering Man Travels all over the world, without a home. What do you think?" Lu Ming roared. "I am your father. How dare you talk like that?" "Me? Oh, don't talk about relatives like that. We are species separated. If I hadn't learned the animal language, you wouldn't be able to communicate with me until now. Okay, I have to get busy. I'm afraid that if I say a few more words, you will be so anxious that you will jump off the wall." After I scolded him, I hung up the phone and added him to the blacklist. I felt relieved and 2 knots in my chest opened. The system was stunned, so you can really scold so much. I was still not satisfied, so I continued with the same energy as before. "You systems are just too full and have nothing better to do. You live by the sea and you control everything, including my shit and farts. You are really a little turtle that dropped a salt jar, and you, a little turtle, have nothing to do. Do you have to use a spoon to adjust the saltiness when a manure truck passes by the door? If you love to uphold justice so much, why don't you go to the underworld to draw a book of life and death for the king of hell? The first thing you should do after taking up your post is to draw yourself dead, because no one is more stupid than you. And the author of this book has the same IQ as 2 pigs, because one is not enough to describe his stupidity. Tofu has brains, but he doesn't. Zombies will sigh when they open his skull. When I have money in the future, I will definitely send you to the best hospital to treat your disabilities above the neck." The male protagonist is even more mean. Others are independent at the age of 30, but he is independent at the age of 30. While raising fish, he is complaining about being hurt by the female protagonist. I hurt him so much. He regretted it when the heroine died. He started to produce milk when the child died. He shook off the snot when it got to his mouth, and he turned when the car hit the wall. The system ran away with its head in its arms. Oh, 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 stop scolding, we were wrong. After I left the hospital, I went straight back to the original owner's rental house to rest. Yes, I am the heroine of a romance novel and the fiancée of a superboss, but I still have to live in a rental house. What a moral decline. Where is humanity? Where is the bottom line of society? And where is the key? I searched my bag but couldn't find it, so I started to ask the system. The system gave a faint hint. This plot is that after being humiliated by Fu Ruizhi during the day, you stayed up late to work overtime for Lu Cha-Cha, and found that you had lost your key when you returned home in the middle of the night. You went to Fu Ruizhi for help, but Fu Ruizhi thought you were deliberately seducing him, so he kicked you out and left you freezing outside the door. Me, stop. System, question mark. I glanced at the wall and made a phone call casually. What? Locksmith company? System, question mark. I hung up the phone and slapped the wall. If the IQ of this heroine is as big as her shoe size, she should know that locksmith companies are more reliable than men. There are so many small advertisements on the wall that they almost stick to her eyelids, but she can't see them. I think she really shouldn't donate kidneys, she should donate eyeballs. Lu Ming hasn't taken care of her for 20 years, but she dared to come back to marry for her just because he played a pity game with her. I think she has shit or urine in her head. When I send you to the mental hospital later, I will take Lu Xinjin with me. But I guess she is more difficult to treat than you. Others are hurting others and not benefiting themselves, but she is hurting herself and benefiting others. With such a spirit of dedication, the Leshan giant Buddha will have to cry and make room for her. The system sighed. I feel balanced when I heard you scold even the heroine. After successfully entering the room, I was a little satisfied. Lu Xinjin still has advantages, such as hard work and housework. Although the small rental house is a bit broken, it is very warm after being decorated by her. I was tired after running all day, and I fell on the bed and went to sleep. The system kept nagging me. Let me tell you the plot again. Actually, Lu Zhenjin and the male protagonist had met when they were young. The male protagonist liked Lu Cha-Cha because he recognized the wrong person. Hey, don't sleep. I'm serious. The male protagonist chasing his wife to the crematorium is still quite exciting. Think about it again. I listened to the noisy voice of the system and fell asleep without knowing when, until the next morning. Looking at the phone again, I found that I had received several insulting messages, most of which were sent by Lu Ming with a different number. Lu Cha-Cha sent several shady and sobbing apologies. Fu Ruizhi was calm and didn't say anything. There was no news from the company's personnel. Only a few colleagues who I got along well with asked me about yesterday's situation under the pretext of asking about work. I had no interest in anything else. I just took a screenshot of Lu Cha-Cha's message and posted it to a circle of friends visible to everyone, with the sentence, "Sob your mother." Afterwards, I dressed up and put on heavy makeup to go out, but then I saw 58 comments on my moments, and Fu Ruizhi's was the most eye-catching come to work right now. Oh. I thought he was going to fight with me for Lu Cha-Cha, but he just asked me to go to work. But this was expected. I heard the system say last night. The original heroine worked diligently and conscientiously, and half of the company's business was linked to her. If she really left, she would definitely leave a lot of pits. Since they don't chase me away, I will just go to work normally. The heroine seems to have a docking project that is about to be completed, and the bonus is 50,000 yuan. If I want to leave, I will take the money before leaving. Half an hour later, I arrived at the company on time. As soon as I entered the door, the noisy workshop suddenly became silent. Everyone had seen my heroic deeds the day before, and they were all secretly looking at me. I was about to sit at my workstation when Lu Qian, the department director who always looked down on the heroine, came over to stop me. The system immediately prompted me with the information of this person. Lu Qian is Fu Ruizhi's subordinate and Lu Cha-Cha's licker. Because of these two identities, he often makes things difficult for the heroine. I slowly read the information. At this time, Lu Qian was slamming the table and cursing, "Lu Zhenjin, why did you come to work on time?" I was speechless. Then you tear off a piece of your face and put it at the door as a mat for entering the house. In the future, I will step on you every day to go to work. Anyway, you have so many pieces of face, it doesn't matter if you tear off one, right? Some employees couldn't help but burst out laughing. Lu Qian was furious. What are you talking about? I meant to ask you to come earlier. Everyone else in the department comes early and leaves late, but you, me. Then I think you should reflect on whether it is because of your lack of leadership ability and unreasonable work arrangement that everyone cannot get to and from get off work on time. Look at you, it's not a big deal to delay me for 1 hour, but there are 20 people in the department, which adds up to 20 hours. Everyone's 20 hours are wasted because of your stupidity, don't you feel ashamed? Lu Qian was stunned, and a colleague hid behind him and secretly gave me a thumbs up. I walked up, patted Lu Qian on the shoulder and comforted him. Don't blame yourself too much, correct the problem if there is one, no one is perfect. After all, you evolved later than other humans, and we can still tolerate species diversity. Lu Qian waved my hand away and said angrily, "You dare to scold me?" I frowned. This level is also considered scolding? I haven't performed yet, okay?